Hello and welcome to the Prosperity Portal podcast. I'm your host, Jill Alana, and I'm here to support you in everything you need to prosper in health, wealth, and relationship. I'm obsessed with everything manifestation, soul path, intuition, somatic embodiment healing, and I'm looking forward to supporting you in liberating to a life of love and luxury. True empowerment, true sovereignty, and aligned soul manifestation. I'm the founder of Jill Alana International, Jai Activations, and Jai Breathwork. And without further ado, let's go to the show and get you resourced in everything pro your spirit. Hello, beautiful souls. Okay, we are doing a Instagram live today on commanding a quantum leap. I am so freaking excited. Also really nervous to share this story. Tally, hello. Tash, hello. Give a wave as you hop on. Lewis, is it Lewis? Hello, welcome. Okay, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm doing it on Instagram Live. That's why I'm saying hi to all the people hopping on. I love you too, Angel. Thank you for inspiring this. So Tash is actually one of the puzzle pieces that really inspired this. So I'm going to take this back because I think sometimes I share manifestations and I'm not actually sharing the process of how I created that manifestation or how I healed that thing or how I did that quantum leap. And I've been tracking a lot of this in my life and I realized, well, I need to share more of the actual process and I'm literally in the middle of one right now. So here we go. Firstly, a lot of people recently have been telling me that I'm very confident, okay? I need to talk about this for a second because I don't actually think I'm confident. What they're experiencing, it is embodied, the codes of embodied confidence, which comes as a byproduct of courage. So me hopping on here, like I'm a projector, I'm a hermit, like I like spending a lot of time alone. Me putting myself out there in situations like this, or even I remember the first time I spoke in front of over 100 people and I was like so nervous. That requires courage. Choices like I just made to join this mastermind, which I'm going to tell you about, require courage. The confidence is built on the other side of that. I just want to make that really clear because Source has been speaking to me through many people being like, you're so confident. How do you get so confident? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't think I'm confident, but they're experiencing that energy, which is earned through these choices of courage and really following the soul path, which we're going to talk about today. So Tash, can you just put in the comments if I can share a little bit about what I was coaching you on the other day? I won't share details, but can I give like the lowdown? Just gonna make sure she's still on. Yes, okay, awesome, thank you. So Tash was like trying to figure out the how of how to start her business. She's very gifted, how to create, etc. In Soul Sales September, we went into full transmission on this. And I said, this is so funny because the how, you don't need to know the how. And I said, Tash, your biggest quote block right now is her initiation is that you don't have enough skin in the game. You have bet on yourself, but it's like one toe in, one out, 1 foot in, 1 out. And then you'll bet on yourself, but then you'll like retreat back a bit. Because all the people around her probably think she's crazy, right? If she steps fully in. Well, guess what? Everyone thinks I'm crazy, and then they ask me how I do it. So, people with this choice, some of you guys, Caitlin, hello, beautiful. Some of you guys will probably think I'm crazy because of what I'm about to tell you, what I just committed to. And I'm so excited because I'm telling you, I already know, I saw the timeline. This is, basically I joined a mastermind, which we'll get into and why I joined this specific one. It's not even a money mastermind. It's actually about love and love, legacy, and leadership. And I had the opportunity to join a bunch of other ones and none of them felt quite right. And I almost talked myself out of this one. Like this morning I woke up and I was like, no, I'm good. And I'll tell you what happened. because this is what I see people do over and over and over again. And when we do this work, the work works through us. So we're on the Soul Sales September call, and Tasha's asking, like, how do I do it? I don't know how to like start my business or how to like do the offerings. And I'm like, the how's not your problem. And I read a quote literally the night before. I wrote it down, 2 quotes actually. When you walk in the way appears, Rumi. And then the map doesn't appear till the car starts moving. This is ironic because I just wrote them down intuitively. I didn't know I was going to talk about it on the Soul Sales September call. And I was like, oh, these were to share in the transmission actually, and to answer this question. And this is the soul path. We actually don't know how the dots connect. Steve Jobs said the dots connect looking back. They only connect looking back. And I can tell you from my experience in walking this path for about 8 years, actually my whole life, because I dropped out of business school, almost got kicked out of my house. And somehow I ended up in New York studying acting, which was like against what everyone told me to do. And I didn't even think was possible at the time. And the synchronicities that happened, and that was all part of my soul path, because that's where I learned to read energy fields and energy and movement and all of this stuff. And so I've gone against the grain of society so many times, and every single time people are like, you're crazy, you're stupid, you're dumb, you'll never make it work. And then later they've asked me how to do it. And when people are calling you crazy, you know you're on path. You know you are on path. But you don't just go do the thing because somebody else is doing it. You do the thing because there's a soul pull. And so I had the opportunity, like I said, to join like these other masterminds. I'm actually in one, but it's more masculine led. And I was like, I need a feminine led mastermind. And so all of these ones kind of started appearing, and something didn't feel like a full body yes. And so I'm just kind of like in my higher self has been guiding me, and I was just like waiting for one to appear, because it became really clear that like I had been coasting a little bit. People would look at me and they're like, Jill, you're not coasting. And I'm like, hey, I do desire to take my business to 7 figures a year, 7 figures plus a year. And I do desire to become a match to my true beloved and build a family and create a family and truly create a legacy of love that's heart-led. And Danya, babe. And I started looking at all the areas that I wasn't being fully alignment with that. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, okay, I actually have been settling in certain areas because I'm too comfortable. And I had a teacher who is amazing in a lot of ways, but he told me like, you just got to do more. You got to put more out there. And I'm like, I don't really think that's it. And pieces of what he said were true. But there was deeper things. It's because of my identity. And it's because of certain environments that I wasn't being stretched in. And I was almost like a leader in certain spaces, and I lead a lot of spaces, but I wasn't being stretched, so I wasn't calibrating to where I want to go. And there's this elastic band effect. I went to this event in Denver, and actually the women's mastermind that I joined spoke in Denver, and she was the only speech that I missed because I was feeling really sick the first night. And so I thought I didn't think she was going to speak that night, and I've been following her for years. And anyway, she did, so I missed her speech. But I'll listen to the replay. But this is so ironic because I'm like, she's the mastermind I joined, and she's the speech that I missed, which most people be like, oh, like missed opportunity. No, what's meant for you will come to you, but do you follow the breadcrumbs? So anyways, I was at that event, came home for a couple of days, went to LA to another event. Like everything has been busy. I literally am sitting here, my suitcase is still unpacked in front of me. So I'm like, most people are like, oh, like it's just like missed opportunity. Anyways, I didn't even know she was launching a mastermind. And I'm on her email list, and it was a free offering. So I got home from LA. I had slept like 3 hours that night because I stayed at friends of friends, and we got there like really late. And then anyways, had to get up really early, and I got home. I had a call with my business partner. Some of you guys know Nicole. And then I had a call with somebody else, and I was like up doing work until late. And I was like, okay, I got to go downstairs, get some food. So I pop in this replay of this woman's, a transmission. And what she's saying, like I've been to her free stuff before, like the last few years, but I've never invested. in her, I start to get goosebumps. And what she's saying with her story, I already related to, but I've never seen it from this level. And I'm just like, okay, I'm joining this. It was a full body yes, so I'm like, I'm joining the year-long program, okay? Several $1,000s, but I was like, it's comfortable for me. It's comfortable for me to invest that. I do that all the time. And I'm telling Tash on the call the next day about the elastic band effect 2 days later, and how Tash came to my retreat and she shifted so much, and we did a lot of somatic work there. Stay tuned, guys. The retreat applications for next year are coming out soon for early bird, and I'm so excited. So excited. So Tash comes to the retreat and she was amazing. Like, so much just shedding, and her gifts are starting to unlock, and she's starting to clear shame, and she's in this environment. She leaves. She's like, this happened and I manifested this and this, and stay tuned because we're doing an Instagram live coming up of all the wins that she had, and her relationship shifted and deepened, and now she's having these vulnerable conversations and really being in alignment. And all these miracles are happening, and people are like, she's walking into rooms, people are like, oh my God, who is that girl? And like, looking at her, and this is because it's the somatic work and the deep work, and she's walking the path. But what happens sometimes is if you don't have a full container to continue to support you, which is why I'm creating the Prosperity Portal, which will be a lower ticket offering with transmissions, activations, breath work, intuitive reads every month, plus a whole portal of like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of my courses and transmissions and activations from prior. And this is also why we have the mastermind. Anyway, so I'm like, it's the elastic band effect, because you go back into your world and you're like, okay, but I'm recalibrated, and now you kind of start getting pulled back because you don't have that community. And so like, I have a really great community, I do. But I was noticing I am not really stretched, and I spent a lot of a time in LA around like these very powerful people, and I was like, dang, like I gotta up my standards for the people I let really close to me, like especially the peer group, because I have phenomenal mentors, and then my community keeps me accountable. Thanks, Tash, for walking the walk of what I'm saying. And then I'm like, my peer group, like I have amazing peers in a certain regard, but I don't have people that are going through a certain container with me that are kind of beyond me, okay? And I'm like, I need to be in a peer group that I calibrate to. And so I got an email last night, and I'm like, and it's like about joining the mastermind, which is like the highest, like the high level mastermind. It's a really intimate mastermind for this container. And I'm like, logically, I'm like, no. And like I said, I've been considering a few other ones over the last few weeks. Like the event, like there's been like at least 8 masterminds that have come in my vortex. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel called, but not really. And one of them, logically, I was like, yeah, all these people are having wins. It's an amazing community. The woman who runs it is so phenomenal and embodied and inspiring, but like there's so many people in it, and I'm a projector, and I'm like, I want a small, intimate one. And so I don't need the support. Like I have, like I said, I have amazing mentors, private mentors and teachers, and just like amazing friends as well. And my community, like I don't need the support, but those who need it don't invest in it, and those who want it don't need it. And that quote really stuck with me, and I was like, I desire that. I'm saying I want to this other level. And so I get this email about joining that, and logically I'm like, no, but I start to get this like expansive feeling in my heart. And I just come home from my mentors last night, where we went back into something from childhood, and I realized how I was still fawning in my life in all areas, and it was so subtle, and I worked through so many layers of this. And so we worked through another layer of it, and I started to see how I was disempowering people when I'm fawning because I'm enabling them. And so I'm like, I need to be around people who are not doing this in any capacity and are like actually way ahead of me and still doing the work with me. And it's held by somebody who is fully embodied and leading from love. And this woman is. So anyways, I get this email, and I'm like, I literally don't even have the full investment in my business bank account unless I pull from my soul fund and my tax fund, and I'm not doing that. And then there's like a bonus if you pay in full. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to join this, and I think I'm supposed to pay in full. And it's actually a way bigger investment than all the other masterminds. And I've invested more than this on private coaching multiple times, but I've never paid in full this amount. And I have a lot of people on payment plans right now. So instead of like big cash injections in the business, it's been really sustainable, which has been great for my nervous system. But now I'm like, okay, game on. So anyways, I'm thinking of Tash, and I'm like the elastic band effect, and like I'm surrounded by these people, but both these conferences, and I didn't join either of the masterminds that were offered. And then I'm involved, I was like surrounded by these men in this other mastermind, like who are like really integrated and like powerful and amazing entrepreneurs and just people. And I'm having a conversation on the way home with my friend, and we're like, we got to create this community here. And that is true. And I will contribute to that. But I'm like, I also need to join one where I'm held deeply accountable. I have my mentors for that. I have my peer group for that, but that's not enough to keep me accountable. The mentors are, but I also want to be surrounded by women who are doing amazing things and walking this path with me as peers. And so I realized, I got the email, and I'm like, let's intuitively test this. I'm like eating a burger. I test 13 different intuitive forms. And I'm like, it's like, yes, yes, yes. And then my friend messages me and colleague, and we'll test for each other. She's like, can you test this for me? So I gave her a little read, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, can you test this for me? And she's like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. So I start filling out the application. And then like this fear comes in. I'm like, oh no. So I go to bed. And then I wake up this morning, and I going to bed last night, I'm like, I think this is an identity shift. I think this is a declaration of the universe of actually where I desire to go and where I've been playing small. And like relative to a lot of people, I haven't been playing small. Like, but for where I know my potentials are, I've been playing small. Like in all regards. And I've been tolerating things that aren't fully in alignment with what I'm saying. And so at my mentors last night, a lot of shifts happened, and I kind of was like driving home, and I was like, dang, I really like desire a deep sisterhood of people who really get this work and are really doing this work. This is before the email came through. Anyway, so I go to bed, and like intuitively it's like a soul yes, and it's an intuitive yes. But the fear came, and I'm like, oh, well, we'll just like wait for another sign and blah, blah, blah. So I wake up this morning, and I'm doing self-Reiki, and I did one of my activations. I'm literally in the middle of one of my activations, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I don't need this. I joined the year-long program. There's like calls every 2 weeks. Like, there's all the modules. Like, I'm good. There's hundreds of people in that community. Like, I'll meet people through that. Like, I'm good. The voice of doubt. The voice of me being in my comfort zone. The voice of complacency. Complacency, it's a slave code. And all of a sudden, my retreat from last year pops in my mind, and I was like, oh, because I told Tash this, I said I had less than 2 weeks to fill that retreat. It's a long story. I thought I had several months. And when it came down to it, was like, boom, I was able to do it because there was skin in the game, and there was no time to loop in my mind and waste energy. It was like, let's do this. Are we going to do this? I'm committed to that and devoted to it. I don't know where these people are going to come from. There's 4 people signed up, and we needed 12 people minimum. And then 2 people dropped out, and I'm like, what's going on? The world was rearranging, and then boom, it was full. And I was like, oh, that's my quantum leap, that energy. And then a flashback to my second business coach, first 2 business coaches where I invested. The first one was $3,000, the other one was $15,000. And although like the biggest part of those 2 coaches, because they didn't really have, the biggest part of that, they had some codes, sure. They didn't really have training, but the biggest part was me proving to myself that I can make that money back and more. And I'm not available. There's this thing called this energetic minimum. I'm not available to have a bunch of room on my, like, to not pay off my credit card. Like, that is just not available. And somehow I got a 15,000 USD credit card when I first started my business. Like, I don't know how I got that, but I did. And I put the first, like, that coach on my credit card. And I'm like, I have a month to do this. And this is years ago, and I had my first $20,000 USD month, and I was like, whoa, that was bonkers. And it wasn't really what she said or taught me. It was literally because I shifted my identity in that. And then, you know, I've had coaches that have been bigger investments, and there's been all these times, and I'm telling Tash on the call, I'm like, yeah, I went through this like big dark night of the soul a year and a half ago when I was relying on a launch. I'm like, it's definitely going to be 6-figure launch. It was on Sacred Union, and then I go through a breakup right before I'm supposed to launch that, the day before. So I didn't launch it. I launched it like later, and it was not a 6-figure launch. And then I had just signed up for a business coach for like 30 grand US. And then 2 mentors came in, and I was like, I need to work with these mentors. And I didn't even know how I was going to pay my team the next month, because I had been traveling and like living the life, and like I basically, like, we made good money that year, but I was reinvesting all of it. And I'm like, whoa, but I've trained myself over and over and over again during these times to literally surrender to source and offer what I'm meant to offer in exchange for that abundance. And I had this crazy experience recently, actually, where there was an amount, it was an amount that I thought I was going to have to pay for something, and then somebody took care of it for me as a gift, and I was like, whoa. And it was like about the amount, well, it was about half the amount of the mastermind, but still. So I'm like, and then there was another piece of that, so it's about 3/4, and I was like, whoa, maybe that was a gift from God so I could join this. And okay, so anyways, these memories are like flashing as I'm like doing some energy work, and I'm like, these were my quantum leaps, but I'm like, no, my nervous system is regulated now. Like, I'm good. We're in a good place. We have consistent income. Like, I'm not in any fear. I'm not really in resistance. I'm in like my flow state, and I'm sleeping a little bit on my potentials for what I want to create. But the voice of doubt's like, you're good. You don't need to join this. You don't need it. I don't. And then my phone goes ding, 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 ding. And it's my friend, Nicole, my business partner. And she did my intuitive read. And she's like, I got a yes. I thought it was going to be a no, because I had asked her for these other masterminds. I'm like, I'm thinking to join this mastermind. Can you test? And logically, for all of them, I got a yes. But intuitively, I got a no. And all the other ones were like, hard no, hard no, hard no. I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for saving me from my mind. And now my mind's like, oh, you don't need it. It's all good. I don't need it. And then that happens, and I'm in this like confliction. My mind's like, don't do it. That's scary. Like, that's stupid. That's crazy. You don't even have that amount in your, and I could pay on a payment plan, but I really want the one-on-one. And it's not even about that. It's about the identity shift. And it's about forcing the quantum leap, because I know when I do this, I'm going to have to force more cash flow into my business, which already started happening, by the way. So I'll tell you that in a second. Miracles happened after I made this investment. So I'm in this like confliction, and my mind's going one way, my body, and I'm like, and then I'm like, I'll join next year. Like, she launches, or maybe in 6 months. I'll join in 6 months. Like, and then my soul is like, Jill, you're saying you want this. Like, what are you doing? Why are you settling? Because it's comfortable when I settle. That's why. And so I'm like, okay. So in the email, you can like, she's like, message me in the inbox on Instagram. Then all this like chat box stuff pops up, and I can't reach the woman. And I'm like, And then I'm like, okay, higher self, like if she responds, like that is going to be like a yes. Okay. And so I just tune in and I'm like, what is this fear? And what comes up is this imposter syndrome, sisterhood wounding that I actually experienced. It came up when I was at this conference in Denver because I got the VIP for networking. I went to the networking party and I was like, there's all these powerful women, and I just like shrank and I was like, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough. I haven't created the 7-figure business. I haven't created like XYZ. I've been saying I want to start my healing school and I haven't launched it yet, Oracle Wisdom Academy. Like, what am I doing? Why? And yes, there's a lot going on. Like, I have a lot of calls on the schedule. I have private clients. I have all these things, but I'm still playing small. I should be impacting way more people than I am. And I have the evidence that the tools that I have work. I have so much evidence. And I'm like, why have I been hiding in the shadows, even about what I do? And then my friend pops into my mind and he said to me on the flight back, like, oh, because he's like, what's your elevator pitch? I'm like, because I'm like explaining all the stuff. And then he's like, you work in the shadow realm. Like, you should just say it, you work in the shadow realm. And I'm like, oh yeah, I work in the shadow realm. And the core of everything I do is I help people integrate, I help people access their power, potential, and purpose through integrating their shadow. That's what I do. And I've been so weird about this. I have a freaking shamanic drum right here and like thousands of dollars of healing tools over there. And I'm like, I have been playing so small because I'm worried that people think shamanism is bad. And like, that's all these like connotations. And my family introduces me as a counselor. And then there's like shame there because I'm like, no, I'm actually like an intuitive and a shamanic healer. And I teach on the universal laws. And it just like hit me. I'm like, I am the only one holding myself back, and it is my identity and it is my shame of not feeling good enough because I'm afraid I won't be accepted. So I'm having this thing, I start like, my body starts like convulsing and I start like crying a bit, and then this woman voice memos me back because I told her, I'm like, and anyways, I'd messaged her in between that, and then I did some more energy work, and I was like, I have imposter syndrome because some people in this small intimate container have 9-figure businesses. Like, we're at 6 figures, and I'm like, I was like at Living Brave Live, like I did the VIP and I felt like, oh, I don't belong here. So I actually left the initial like networking party because it was like, just, I didn't think I was worthy. My identity hasn't been at that level. And I'm like, this is exactly the step I need to take in order for my identity to be at that level, because there's a recalibration with the energy that we are around always. Just like when I'm at my mentors, I'm recalibrating to her frequency. But when we're in group vortex, we recalibrate to that. And I'm literally witnessing this happen in the mastermind that I hold. And I witnessed this happen in like all these like containers and courses. And this is again why I'm launching the prosperity portal. But I'm like, if I really desire this for my life, and if I really desire, you know, like what I say, then I need to be calibrated to that. And like the biggest thing on my heart right now is literally aligning fully to divine union and family and creating a freaking legacy of love from love. And everything else is the byproduct of that. And so I'm like, they're all connected. The places I have been lowering my standards, or I don't want to say self-abandoning, but compromising in one area is what I've been compromising in all. And it's literally been who I've allowed myself to be surrounded by intimately. And I'm like, I gotta get in an inner circle of people who are actually truly embodied and ahead of me, with a guide who's embodied and ahead of me, whose story I resonate with. And I was like, so her voice memo was like, I looked at your page and you are absolutely like a perfect match for this. And I'm like getting goosebumps, which is a strong intuitive yes. And like, You are so worthy. And she goes on and on. It's not what she's saying, it's the transmission. And I do truly feel welcomed. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I just want you in this container. It's like, no, like, remember who you are. And it's crazy because this woman has a very similar story to me with my ex, and shifting her business as well into motherhood and only working like a few hours a week and not just like over giving, which I realize is my pattern, which is why me just giving more, like somebody advised me to do, isn't actually the key. It's different for women. And so the point here is my brain and my soul were conflicting. I'm just looking at my notes, and I'm like, it's so weird because other masterminds were a logical yes, but an intuitive no, and this was a logical no, but an intuitive yes. And what I realized was none of it's even about the money. That's gonna stretch me, and it did stretch me, like literally. I don't want to say draining, investing more than the cash flow in my business right now in it, paying in full, which is so crazy what happened right after. And this is how it works. Like, after I pay the first half, and I'm gonna pay the other half tomorrow because I have to pay off my credit card because the limit's more than my business credit card. But like, all of these people were like, I want an intuitive read, I want a session. And I'm like, this is bonkers. They just came out of the blue because I stepped into that next level. I am the embodiment. And I messaged Nicole this morning on my run before I paid, and I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm just hearing this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, when do you need to know by the way? And I'm like, I'm already in. I already made the choice. I'm just waiting for the link. So like, because I messaged her all my fears that were coming up. And I was like, this is actually what's going to get our mastermind to the next level as well, being the embodiment of this on a deeper level, because that embodiment is the highest form of leadership. Oh, and then in the midst of all this, my mom, shout out to my mom if you ever hear this, she's the best. She sends me a podcast on horses. Stay with me. It's on masculine and feminine energy and our energy field and embodiment and embodied confidence via logical confidence. And I was like, oh, this has been another key for me. Like, I've been following a lot of the masculine leadership codes instead of the feminine ones. And there was so much in the podcast that it was like, Jill, do this mastermind, do this mastermind, do this mastermind. And here's the other thing, like, we get this small intimate container and support from this woman the whole year and that community and those connections. And apparently some of them, I actually don't know who the women are yet, but some of them I saw on stage, and like every person I saw on that stage was so powerful. So I'm excited to be in that community and to just like own what I do and my gifts and my vision and my purpose on a deeper level. But what I realized was, feminine leadership. I lost my train of thought. Just let me have a sip of water. Okay, yeah. What I realized was I needed to start following more of the feminine guidance and be surrounded by that and leaders in the space in that and calibrate to it. And so by me joining the first container, I already went through some shifts. I haven't even listened to anything in there. And now there's a bunch more in the other one. But by me joining the mastermind, nothing's even happened yet, like in the mastermind. We haven't even started. But my energy, I felt the energy already shift. Like my whole energy recalibrated. And this is how it works. These are choice points. I literally shifted my identity from I'm not good enough, imposter syndrome, I don't belong here, I haven't achieved this much. All my deep sisterhood wounding came up from, when I would have wins before and share wins and people would drag me down, or like jealousy or this superiority complex of I'm better than you. And I'm like, what if I get into that? And every time I tapped into this specific lexicon of the mastermind, a lexicon is an energy field of a business or a community. It was so heart-centered, so supportive. And that was the difference between this one and all the other ones I tapped into. Not that some of them didn't have that. They had aspects of it, but there was still some like weird, funky energy that didn't feel like what I wanted to be part of. And this one was a full body, like, whoa, support. And yet my logic tried to trick me. My mind, my ego tried to trick me because it's like an ego death going through this. Literally, my body was like convulsing. The old me was dying. And all of a sudden, all of these downloads came. It was like this part of your life, this part, you've been saying yes to this and this and this and this. And now it's like things that I've been saying yes to that are not in alignment, they're just like, I have no problem saying no to them now. Like I have shifted on a DNA level. And I've entered this new vortex, this new lexicon, even though the calls haven't started. Now I'm a part of that energetically and I can feel it. And I can feel the recalibration from the other women that I still haven't even met yet, the other women in that space. And this is how it works. This is literally how it works. It's not all the logical stuff. Who we are around is everything. And so I've invested so much, like literally over $500,000 since before I even started my business, over the last probably like 6 years on trainings, on masterminds, on coaches, mentors. And every single time I've done it, no matter what, there's been an identity shift. And this was just another level because like I said, I've never paid in full, especially more than I have in my bank account, my business bank account. And like I said, I could pull from other areas, but I'm not going to, I'm not available for it. So the money has to come, and it already started coming, like I said, with all these reads and like people just reaching out. And it's like inspired me to launch my retreat finally. And the prosperity portal is coming anyway, so stay tuned for those of you in Soul Sales September. You get a lifetime discount, which is bonkers for what you get. Anyways, do not let this I don't belong, I'm not worthy hold you back, because I tracked a lot when I was making this choice. As I said, I see like all these memories come up. And there was another retreat that changed my life. It was a mastermind retreat. I was not part of the mastermind. There was all these like, this is before I had my business, 7, 8, 9-figure business owners. There was a billionaire business owner in there, and I was around these people and I learned so much, and I started to recalibrate to them simultaneously. I still had imposter syndrome, but that fundamentally changed me on a DNA level. And that's when I started my shamanic training shortly after, and like actually met my shamanic teacher there, and my business just started to grow itself because I had shifted. Our businesses are a reflection of our energy field. They're an extension of that. And so I am literally walking this path of putting more skin in the game than I'm comfortable with and shifting my identity. And I've done this time and time and time again. For a little bit there, I got a little bit lazy because I do have a lot of recurring payments for my mentors and class and coaching. And then like my CFO and accountant and VA and all the things. But I was coasting a bit because I knew the money was coming and I know what I have to pay off. And it's like, how do I get to the next level? And there's a woman, I won't name her name, in my mastermind. And when I looked in, I'm like, you're supposed to put 20% in your soul fund. Usually it's 10%, 20% for this period of time. And she freaked out. And this is important, guys. Stay with me. I'm almost done this transmission. This is really important. She is like, she started crying. Trauma came up. This woman is like an amazing businesswoman, and she's going to be an amazing mom. On our vision board is becoming a mom, and it's just like so phenomenal. And I was like a little bit like, whoa, what's going on for a second? Because she is like killing it in business. And she's very heart-led, and she's in an amazing relationship. And all these fears of when she was hard, all these fears came up of when she was deeply in scarcity. And she's like, I'm going to go back into those patterns of like, I can't get this thing at the grocery store. I can't spend money because of X, Y, Z. And this happened with a recent private mentorship client who invested. She's like, I'm having these fears of like, such a good story. I hope she listens to this. I'm having these fears of investing in myself. Because if I make this investment, which is a leap for her, it needs to be a leap for her identity to shift, then I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to like take my kids to this fair and do this and spend money on other things. I'm going to go so deeply into scarcity. And I said, stop. Let's make the choice right here, right now, that you're not available for that. It's this and this. We can have this and this. Just like I said, somebody literally gifted me something that's multiple 5 figures that I thought I was going to be paying myself, and it became a gift. And then another piece of it became a gift. And I was like, whoa, holy Toledo. And so both and, it's not either or, it's both and. Like I could be like, oh, I'm joining this container, but like my mentor, maybe I won't renew with my mentor. And I'd already decided like I'm renewing with my mentor. Assuming she has space. If she hears this, I love you. Please take me on again. Like I want to do another round with her. And it's like all these investments, but I am choosing me. And I'm investing in me, and I'm recalibrating to these frequencies and this identity, which means my whole life has to shift and everything has to shift, and the money also has to reflect that. And guess what? So right after this, as I said, people started like randomly booking a bunch of sessions, and I was like, I had the belief I don't have enough room in my calendar for more clients and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, no, I do actually, I can make it work. And I'm actually going to go do a read right after this. And I was capping my capacity. I'm like, I did 13 reads at my retreat while facilitating a 4-day retreat, doing shamanic breath work, Jai breath work, doing Jai activations, doing energy clearance for everyone, intention settings, teaching manifestation, embodiment work, all of it. And I did also 13 reads. Why can't I do more reads? Like, this is just a construct in my mind. And once I had a reason, an energy bucket to put it in, the mastermind, and I'm also creating a different energy bucket because I do desire a car, I decided recently. All of a sudden I had the energy and the capacity to do it. And I'm like, of course I have the energy. It's like, source gave me the energy. And so this client, both of them, I said, let's make the choice that you are not going back to that. You are not going back to that identity of scarcity. It is this and this. Both and is the highest timeline, not either or, both and. Thank you, Amanda Francis. So what happened with both of them was, I'll tell the story of one. So all of this abundance just started appearing. She started getting gifts of the thoughts. Well, what if she was at a fair with her child and like, what if I can invest in tickets for them, and I shouldn't do this. I just made this investment myself. And somebody literally gifted them tickets. And then she got money like sent to her randomly. It's not random. It's a synchronicity. She chose that identity and the universe responded. Some of you guys are like, okay, I'm just meditating, which is amazing. I've started doing my activations more often. Holy Toledo. I got to do them every day. I kind of forgot how powerful they were. I did one right before this, but I do energy work every single day, but what anchors it in? And I sent this transmission to Nicole today when I made this choice. I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't want any more, like no more reads. Like I'm doing it. I made the choice. And what I said was, wait, what did I say to her? Sorry, let me spin back. I said, it is the action. It's the action is the piece that integrates it in the quantum field and into our energy field. We could be an energetic match, a thought match. By the way, thought match is 15%. And then we can become an energetic match with quantum activations, like Jai activations, breathwork, etc. Whatever modality you want to use. That's the most powerful for me. And obviously I'm prejudiced because I created it, but it's what I use. But then the choice needs to happen. I could have just been like, I'm a match, but then I'm just like not going to join this like mastermind that I feel really called to, and my soul said yes, and intuition said yes, and all the things. Like I'm good, I'm a match, but I didn't take the action, right? So because I took the action, it literally recalibrated me. Like I don't know if you guys who have been in my community for a while can feel the energy shift, but something happened when I made that payment. Like something happened when I entered that lexicon. I'm being stretched. I'm going to be stretched all year. And I'm so devoted to this because it is such a high investment. And because I paid in full and I'm like, okay, I have expenses every month. And like, we got a cash flow to come in, which is already coming in as I shared. And like, logically, I know, I mean, it's like, I have a lot of people on payment plans, etc. And if I had to pay interest on like part of it for whatever, it's not the worst thing in the world. But that's not even going to happen because I'm not available for it. Hi, Jai. Good to see you. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Kim. Hi, Steph. Oh my God. Okay, so you need skin in the game. And the identity shifts are caused by the action. to choose yourself. And you want to know the most, well, there's all these synchronicities in this, but another synchronicity, and then I'll let you guys go because I have to do an intuitive read. I get to do an intuitive read right after this, is that I just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. Let me spin back one thing that I forgot from my notes. So when I said the 20% in the soul fund for this woman, what I saw was she was literally forcing a quantum leap, like commanding a quantum leap. And that's literally what I'm doing. I'm not available for me to not be able to pay my team. I'm not available for reception's cutting out. It's not you, it's me. I don't know what you're saying, Jai. Sorry. I'm not available for my credit card to not be fully paid off, even though I made this huge investment in full. Like, I'm not available for this. And so I'm forcing the quantum field and my higher self and source, like it's a deep surrender to source, and I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to show up. I'm willing to like even offer this transmission. I'm willing to open more spots for intuitive reads, for somatic healing, for private sessions. I'm finally opening the applications for the retreat. Like, it's forcing me into a quantum leap. It's forcing source, my higher self, to help me embody this quantum leap. Does this make sense, guys? Pop in the comments if this makes sense. And so where most people go wrong is they think them staying in their comfort zone is where the magic's gonna happen. And whether it's like the miraculous healings of my ACL, or healing my eye when I almost went blind, or manifesting crazy random things, manifesting abundance in my business, manifesting abundance in general, manifesting like experiences, places to stay when I didn't have a place to stay in Florida. Like, I've had so many miracles. Manifesting horseback riding, manifesting a horseback riding trip with my mom, with my favorite actress. Like, what? Manifesting the most beautiful relationship with my family, which I thought was impossible. Is that you need skin in the game. You need to start looking at the cost of not doing it. And this is what I was saying. I said on a Soul Sales September call last week that I started an email. I'm going to read it to you 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, and I haven't finished it. And it wasn't time yet. It's time now with this transmission is going to be in it. Your comfort zone is costing you millions and it's making you poor. Most people would be like, oh, this X investment, that's what it's costing me. No, what's costing me of not stepping into that is the life that I truly desire, is the level of abundance that I know I'm capable of creating. It is the level of love and leadership that I desire to be a match to. It is literally becoming the match and having divine union be emanated in my field, having a family, all of these things, and being the woman I want, that I desire to be in that. And sure, I don't need that mastermind to do that. I don't need my mentor here to do that, right? I don't need it, but those who need it don't want it, and those who want it don't need it. But I want it. It's going to support me. So that's going to stop the elastic band effect of me going back to the norm of where society sits, because just quite frankly, in both in love, in leadership, and in business, the norm of where society is not where I want to live. Okay? I don't work for a salary. I don't work for anybody else. I work for source. I work for my soul, and I work for my mission. And if any of you guys are out there who are like, oh, I can't bet on myself, I will tell you the biggest key to quantum leaping in business, in love, in anything is truly choosing yourself and betting on yourself. Because if you don't bet on yourself, nobody's going to. If you don't choose yourself, nobody's going to. And you got to claim your spot at the freaking table. And I just don't want to be normal. I don't want to live a normal life. I want to live an exquisite life. And most people will tell you you're wrong, or that's crazy, or it doesn't exist. And I'm here to tell you it does exist. I've achieved this and I've created this in so many areas. And there's another level. There's another level. I've still been sleeping on my potential, and there'll be another level after that, and another level after that. Like just divine union, for example, it's not like you reach a level and that's it. There's always another level of evolution. There is always another level of evolution. Stefan, it's Stefan, right? It was so lovely meeting you in Denver. Part of this story was about Denver. If you don't bet on yourself, no one else will. You should go back, watch the replay. And you not costing on you, it's not only betting on you, it's not only costing you millions, it's not only making you poor, and I'm not just talking about money. It is literally like shrinking, your soul is like dying. It feels like you're in a cage. And this is why you're not fulfilled. And this is why you feel like you need a numb, or that you need to grasp at things and you're not, or if somebody's not choosing you, or if clients aren't choosing you, or if somebody's not treating you the way, it's because you're not choosing yourself. It literally affects all areas of life. Hi, Kristen. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. We're just ending this transmission, but you can watch the replay. And so that's how you force a quantum leap. And I'm in the middle of it right now, and I'm so excited. And probably all you guys think I'm crazy. Some of you think I'm crazy. Some of you are like, yes, but I have to walk the walk. There was the final piece, sorry, I know I said final piece twice, but is that I was listening to a transmission of a different woman. I almost joined her mastermind actually, but I got a no to join. And it was actually less of an investment. But all these wins were happening when people joined because they were choosing themselves. That's why it happened. And she's amazing. And I'm listening to her story about, she didn't say betting on yourself, but she's like, she was speaking a big game at this event, and then she almost didn't do the thing. Talk is cheap. What is your actions? What are your actions? What are you saying yes to that's not in alignment? What are you saying no to that is in alignment, but you don't think you're worthy, or you have imposter syndrome? And I really want to anchor this in because of like the feedback. And I know this is literally Source speaking through me, through other people being like, you're so confident. Can you help me with confidence? Like, yeah, I can help you with confidence by helping you walk the path in courage. Just like Tash, when literally her old self was dying at the retreat, and there was tears, and I would adjust people's bodies when we were doing this exercise, and like, it wasn't just her, it was everybody, but we did it one by one, and she just was a freaking queen. And then all of a sudden her embodiment is different. Just like the podcast my mom sent on embodied confidence. You can't fake horses. You can't fake energy with horses. They feel everything, and we do too. There has to be a coherence. So if you're saying one thing, you're saying you want one thing, but you're not betting on yourself, you're not walking the walk, you're not saying yes to what's in soul alignment. I'm not just being like, you should join Soul Sales September if you feel the pull, because dang, that is worth ridiculous amount more than it is right now. I think it's 555 right now. The breath work alone in it is worth more than that. I'm not just saying join that or join the prosperity portal when we launch or come to my retreat. If you feel the pull, definitely do it. But if you feel the pull to somebody else, or joining something else, or joining a mastermind or a group container or a country club to be surrounded by the energy that you desire, do that. I have a client, and I've been working with this woman for almost 3 freaking years. I love her so much. I have seen her walk this path over and over and over again. She's like, I don't know where the abundance is coming from. And she is just manifest it. She's starting her business. All these people are coming in. She doesn't even have social media. She joined a high caliber gym when she was between the two. And I'm like, well, what coding do you want to be around? Well, the high caliber. She met her freaking fiance there, which is one of the things we worked on together. And she met all these people that became clients, very high caliber people. And I can't name names, but you'd be like, holy Toledo. And so choose yourself. What identity? The only difference, my brother taught me this, because I kept watching him kill it in business, and everyone thought he was crazy and leveraging debt and blah, 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 because he bought all these houses, and now he's renting them out and making buckets. It's not even his job. That's extra surplus. He's making multiple, I don't know if I should say how much he's making. He's doing very well in his business. And it's because he's bet on himself over and over and over again. His identity is, I am worthy. I'm choosing myself. I'm claiming a seat at the table. And I'm not going to let anyone tell me otherwise. And my oldest brother called him stupid. And then I was like, oh my God, he's actually quite wise and smart. Like, I think I need to learn from him. How is he closing these business deals like right in front of me in Hawaii? I'm like, this. And then somebody else wanted to do business with him, like who was near us in Hawaii. His business isn't even in Hawaii. Like, wanted to take him. I'm like, holy Toledo, because he surrounds himself with that energy. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the key. I haven't been betting fully on myself. I mean, I did for a long time, and then I got too comfortable because I've been on, I got too comfortable because I feel like I'm very grateful for this. There's been some payment plan things that I've been paying off for a long, long time. And there's kind of a community that allows all these super extended payment plans, which is great, but also it wasn't forcing me into the quantum leap. And I was surrounded by that energy. And I'm like, I need to surround myself with energy with people that are putting all their skin in the game. They are betting on themselves no matter what. And the final thing for today, my friend Kat Norton popped into my field this morning. And I remember her saying, like, she left her business. You should look her up if you don't know who she is. She left her like corporate job and was like living in her parents' basement and had student debt, and she had just started her business, and everyone's like, that's stupid. You're what about your 401k or whatever it is in the States, and like your what's it called, your healthcare and all this stuff. And she's like, no, I'm betting on myself. This woman is like paving the way in business, and by selling Excel programs. And now she's like branched out. And I was like, oh, I remember when Kat said that thing. I actually met Kat at that mastermind retreat. That I wasn't in that mastermind, and I definitely couldn't afford that retreat at the time, but I chose to do it and made it happen. So anyways, you're crazy awesome. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. It's been awesome meeting you too. Amazing. Likewise, Stefan. Okay, I love you guys. Bet on yourself. Retreat applications are coming soon. It's probably going to be the last retreat of this sort in a while. It is super intimate, so powerful. It is on the Sunshine Coast. It's the end of May. It will fill. There's limited spots. And if you want to apply I'm going to put it in the show notes, actually. I'll put it in the show notes on the podcast, actually, and here, or DM me if you want to apply. There's no commitment fully in applying. Let's see if it's a fit. If you have any questions, we can have a conversation. That is like the deepest somatic work you will ever do, in embodiment work. Miracles happen last year. Every year they do. And yeah, I think I'm 99% sure it's the last one we'll do of this sort in a while, because there are a lot on my nervous system, and we are going to move to more of an immersion for a year-long mastermind when Nicole and I make our mastermind a year long instead of 6 months. So we're doing one more 6 month and then year long. Also, the Prosperity Portal, it's $222 a month. There is like basically all my courses in there, minus the ones that I run live. So much content, so many activations. We're doing Jai Breathwork, 2 monthly calls live. Jai Breathwork, which that breathwork, even in a group container, is typically at least $250. The whole portal is $222 a month. So Jai Breathwork, we're doing activations monthly, like dense and dark force energy clearings and energy boosts, and mini intuitive reads. So we'll rotate between the four. We'll do 2 1 month, 2 the other, plus so many masterclasses. So many of basically all my courses are in there. And there's a few other surprises. So stay tuned for that. We're launching at the beginning of October. You can join whenever, you can leave whenever. There's no like year-long commitment. But I have a feeling that you're gonna have so many wins that you're gonna not leave. But anyways, so much abundance is gonna come through. You're gonna be like, I don't want to stop this. But if you're in Soul Sales September, hi Adam, if you're in Soul Sales September, you get a lifetime discount to knock it down to $188 a month for lifetime, so long as you stay in that portal. So That's a pretty good discount considering everything. My private sessions are 4 figures, so go figure. Like, I'm like, I need to create something at a lower ticket so that people kind of understand what this is like. And it's the most phenomenal community. I literally had one of the women say at the retreat, like, she's been in so many communities. She's like, you have the best community ever. Like, I am astonished. I'm like, yes, because I hold that space of only supporting others, only, you know, like, people can bring whatever they're going through and only love is going to be sent to them. They can share their wins and everyone's celebrating them. Well, celebration creates integration, and there's lots of spaces where people don't celebrate other people's wins because there's cattiness and jealousy, and we don't stand for that because there's infinite abundance. Anywho, what's up? Adam, we're just bringing this to an end, but please watch the replay if you feel called. So if you want that lifetime discount and you're feeling like a yes to Soul Sales, to the Prosperity Portal, then I highly recommend you get your butt in Soul Sales September. It's a phenomenal community too. There's dozens of people from all around the world. And the investment goes up again tomorrow. So get in now. We still have more than half the calls left. We have an amazing WhatsApp group. The link's in bio. And I just love you guys so much. Okay, I gotta go do a read. Mwah. Big hugs, big kisses. Bet on yourself. Choose yourself. Walk the walk. Speak with your feet. Speak with your feet. If you're just like, I'm a match, but I'm saying yes to this, or I'm not taking action, which requires courage. Like I said, confidence is built with courage. Confidence is earned. And like, this is a very bold and courageous move that I just made. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And like, join me on the way to 7+ figures and my journey to family and divine union and all the things. Okay, big hugs. Love you guys.
Hello, Sacred Soul. I hope you loved that episode. And if you did, I would so appreciate if you could share and tag me on the social medias at Jill Alana Nixon. And if this brought you value, I would be eternally grateful if you could leave a 5-star review. And if you did, take a picture and email it to teamjillalananixon@gmail.com, and we will gift you a free cord cutting soul revival mini activation, a Jai activation. Put that in the show notes, the email, and thank you so much. We will see you again next week on the Prosperity Portal podcast.